line. Just waiting on the umpire to restart this match. Huge crowd out here at Tormore Reserve, Division 2 Choose Tap Grand Final days. The umpire threw it in. Rinaldi at the back of the pack got the knockdown right near that Bendigo Bank scoreboard. The umpire's plucked out a free kick and it'll go the way of Montrose, and it went to Bally. Got a little handball back to Goodman, who just banged it on his boot off one step, travelled every bit of 60 metres, went out towards the direction of knee. He couldn't quite trap it. The umpire once again has paid another free kick, and this time it'll go to Matty Ford. They're in the long sleeves this afternoon. He'll wind around on the left boot, kick it in towards the hot spot. That's a good fly there by Polkinghorn. At the back of the pack there was Wadsworth. He couldn't get the ball either. Montrose have the numbers. The kick goes across the face of goal. Looking out there for Matty Langdon. He was probably happy to see that ball go over the boundary line, and it does. 40 metres out still from the Mooroolbark goal line.
Yeah, I don't like that move of Sean Roach taking the ruck, Jules, because when they Montrose get the clearing kick, if the ball comes back the other way, they don't have that big physical presence, the go-to man to kick it to. I'd rather see him play more the key forward role.
Still a really hot footy as Dean Stephen got a handball out towards Johnson. He ducked into the tackle but was clever enough to get the handball away. There's two players right on top of their football there. The umpire will come in and bounce it. Almost 50 metres out from the Mooroolbark goals. Right in front of the members stand out here at Baronia, where the bumper crowd has formed undercover. Going up that time there was Roach, got the little knockdown, storming through. It like from a telephone box was Murphy, got a handball away. There's a lot of players that are following the football around in this first 10 minutes of football, Pete.
There is, and I think this plays into Mooroolbark's hands. They like that close in, hard contested ball. Don't let Montrose get the ball out in space, so I think that's playing into the Mustangs' hands.
Well, the knockdown came from Montrose. On hands and knees there was Carney. He couldn't quite pick the ball up. Right on his hammer there is Linford.
Carney copped a beautiful block before. He's on Polkinghorn, copped one and went down. He's only just recovered. They're looking after their men.
As they should. The umpire throws it up. Good knockdown there by Roach, but it went to no teammates' advantage. Linford had a little bit of a fresh air shot. It's 40 metres out from goal. Coming in there was Newman. He couldn't pick the ball up. He might go after it again. Johnson nearly copped one high, and the umpire did see it. So he'll take the free kick across the half-back line there for Montrose. Players streaming towards the outer side of the ground here, and that's the direction the kick goes up towards the Petrarca direction, and he takes an absolute ripper mark, so he's presenting well early in this game. He's kicked the first goal of the match. Short passes on at centre-half forward. Instead, he goes to the longer option. That's a beautiful kick towards Roberts. He dropped it. No, the umpire's paid the mark. Fantastic play there, and Montrose, they might be on a bit of a run here as the kick goes up towards the forward pocket. The umpire said it was got to come back and kick over the man on the mark, which is disappointing for the big man, Andrew Haney. My selection for best on ground today. So the ball will go back to centre-half forward. They're just weighing up the options here.
Boundary.
It's crossed down boundary side to Sam Gaston, thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Guys, Jai Goodman has just come off the ground with a bit of blood coming out of his eye, I guess. He'll get that taped up and come back on home soon.
So the ball's in the arms of Heath Roberts. He doesn't look too confident in his approach. He's waiting for the lead to come out, and he's done just that too with Rowan Hoare to take the mark about 40 metres out from goal. He's on a 45-degree angle, but he's got the wind at his back, and he looks like he might fancy himself from here.
It's usually a pretty good finisher. Yeah, nice kick of the footy, Rowan Hoare.
So he crosses the 40 now. Kick goes on goal. It holds up in the breeze right on top of that goal square. Can anyone get boot to ball? A lot of players form around it, and we'll have a bounce only 2 metres out from the Montrose goal line.
A bit of light rain starting to fall out here today, Ben, now as well, which might cause the ball to be on the ground a little bit more. So have to wait and see how that one pays out.
I threw it up and it was rushed through for one behind. We expected that being so close to the goal line. So on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard at the 13.5-minute mark, it's low scoring, but it's tough quality football out here at Tormore Reserve. Montrose 1-1-7. They lead it by one straight kick. Mooroolbark one behind.
As Trent Giorgio brings the ball back in, but it was a shocking kick. It was marked by Stride, and then a lovely pass by Alan Stride, hitting Rickard on the chest. It's Schilling, in fact, and that was great footy from Alan Stride, former Ringwood captain, I think he was a couple of years ago, probably 3 years ago now. Struggled initially to really cement his spot in the Montrose team. Has had some injury problems as well, but he set up Billy Schilling beautifully with that pass. And Schilling, confident approach. Kicked 4 last time out against Mooroolbark, and he's kicked his first of the day here. So he has 1 Montrose have 2 on the board now, 2-1-13, Mooroolbark 1 behind Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
When you're the designated kicker, Trent Giorgio kicking out. He's got a block, and he turns the ball over, and Montrose get a goal. That's unforgivable for me for the quality of kick that Giorgio is.
And it just shows the importance that last kick coming out of defence has to hit the target, because if you don't, you're going to have your backmen all out of position, and you're going to be able to spot up a forward, no trouble at all.
Charge won the knockout, Sleepy, but Haney won the stoppage, got the handball away to Johnson. Now Montrose streamed the ball forward again. At the back of the pack, Schilling didn't get the first bite. Well done there by McManus to paddle it towards the boundary line. Players screaming for deliberate. The umpire is going to have none of that, and we'll have a boundary throw in 50 metres out from Montrose's goal, Brad.
Just on Giorgio though, Andy, he can be a fantastic kick, but he's a bit of a mixed bag. He tends to turn him over quite a lot as well.
Yeah, and that's what Tim Risley and I were talking about, my captain. We think the same. He's a 1 in 6 fantastic kick, but the rest of it, it's just thereabouts.
Polkinghorn to McManus to charge. He kicked the ball every bit of 60 metres down the wing, and it was a good kick too. He found touch at the 40-20 line, and we'll have a boundary throw in as we cross to Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap.
Mooroolbark saying to win the hit-outs. They lead that 12-7. Inside 50, 6 apiece, but importantly, marks inside 50, 5-0 in favour of Montrose.
Roach goes up against Haining. Haining took it cleanly out of the ruck, got the handball away. That was good play. Sam Goodman got a little handball out towards Beninga. Had to be quick, and he was. Johnson now on the left boot, drives the ball up towards the wing position, and it was a good kick too. Coming out and taking a strong marker there was Hoare. So he's asking for players to present up the ground. He'll go towards the Schilling direction. He's got 3 players to beat if anyone can. Billy can as the ball hits the deck now. Laying the tackle there, Dylan Rickard was on his opposition, Trent Giorgio, and he wasn't letting the ball go anywhere. So we'll have a bounce 60 metres out from the Montrose goal line as the umpire throws it up there. Nicely done there by Sam Goodman to kick the ball inside forward 50. It's a bouncing football. They need time. Rowe got the little handball away, and that was good play by Mooroolbark to clear the ball out towards the centre wing position. Now it creates a foot race. It's a one-on-one situation. Who'll be the first player to meet it? Going after it there was Jeremy Newman. He couldn't quite pick the ball up, and it's always got that extra bit of pressure when Matty Langdon's right on your hammer. And we'll have a boundary throw in. True centre wing position right in front of us here on the broadcast side. Umpire brings the ball back in now. Nicely done there by Haining. Got the ball down. The card's in there again, and we'll have another bounce. It was Matty Langdon on the bottom of that pack. So 17 minutes gone here. It's a handy 2-goal lead to the Montrose Football Club. The clouds are out, the sun is gone, and the umpire throws the ball up, but wouldn't you know it, we've got another stoppage as Alan Stride sees it over. So we've gone almost into time on here. It's a low-scoring game so far. Radar's not looking too flash. Thank you to our meteorologist, Darren McKenzie. Get your brolly out as somehow David Bell got boot to ball and scrambled a kick. He gained a valuable 30 metres or so, but once again the ball will go over the boundary line and out of bounds because Dylan Rickard couldn't trap it, but the umpire said he was belled with a little bit crudely. Looked a little bit ticky touch with that one, but the Montrose fans are no doubt happy with it. And the Muzabi fans are absolutely filthy as the kick goes up towards the centre half forward position. Charge was in the front spot, couldn't pull the mark down. Roberts got the little handball away. Copping one very high there was Rowan Hall. They might pay advantage, but the ball went over the boundary line, so it'll come back, and Rowan Hall will have it about 55 metres out from goal.
He's been lively for Montrose so far, continues to present there across half forward.
It's every bit of 15 to 16 players inside the arc, so it's making it quite difficult for Hoare here. He knows he can't make the distance, so he may as well go to the hot spot. And the hot spot is where he goes towards the Schilling direction. Couldn't pull down the mark. Haining got a little handball off. That was good play to David Bell. Can he put this one through? Fantastic kick there by Sam Rickard. In fact, it was on the left boot as he slammed it home. And Montrose get their 3rd on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. And all of a sudden, a handy little lead to the D's here in the first term. 3-1-19 plays 1 behind. Time on in the first quarter.
They've settled really well, and I think they have to, Mooroolbark have to look at Brett Johnson. I mean, you spoke about not putting anyone on him, but I think he's probably leading possession winner at the moment, so he's playing on Polkinghorn, so I don't know, going their own way, but he's real damaging.
Back in the middle, charge against Haining. It's been a great battle already so far in the ruck as Rowe takes possession. Lovely handball for Giorgio, who didn't have to break stride. Thumping kick by Giorgio to full forward in the Wadsworth direction. Montrose are able to clear somewhat. Ball still in play, hard up against the boundary line. And finally over the boundary line. Thanks to Choose Tap, here's Grant Campbell.
Montrose getting on top in the contested ball. They lead that 33 to 19.
Thank you, Soupy. Boundary throw in right in front of our broadcast position. Roach again competing in the ruck, much to Frosty's chagrin. Stevens kick to the wing, fisted away by Giorgio. Stride hunts down the footy,
Boundary.
goes to ground. They pack in on top of him, and it'll be a ball up. Let's cross boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Yeah, Montrose using their bench a lot more than Mooroolbark at the moment. 16 interchanges to Montrose to Mooroolbark's 10.
Saw Dean Stephen come to the interchange a few moments ago, absolutely spent, but he's recovered well back into the action. Johnson pushed off the footy well then by Polkinghorne. Great footy from Matt Polkinghorne. Searching handball for Martin. Under pressure, Mark Martin. He just couldn't quite get an effective handball away. Montrose, they clear now. Stephen, Bell, off and running. David Bell's long kick looking for Schilling. And great effort by McManus. He had front position. He showed courage, dragged the mark in, and he rode the bump from Schilling. Sean McManus off to Muratore. What a season he's had. Lovely pass as well to Noonan. Made Noonan work for it, but
the juggle was over the boundary line. Then I think this might be called a boundary throw-in.
Yeah, well spotted. BWS. Will be a boundary throw-in. So Mick Noonan, you're right, he did just juggle the footy and juggled it over the line. So back into play was Nee, who went up, third man up that time. Giorgio to Linford. In close quarters, he's caught red-handed then Cam Linford holding the ball. Free kick goes to Roberts. Roberts goes laterally to Stephen. Very high up and under kick by Dean Stephen. Big pack contest underneath it. Armstrong under pressure. Quickly had to farm out a handball. Johnson got it to Nee.
Clever.
Great awareness then by Andy Nee. Didn't panic and just put a little lovely pass out in front of Mark Watson. Probably first time I've called him today, Mark Watson so far. He's had a quiet start. Always got great balance. Lovely user of the footy. Probably this will test him, this kick. Distance will test him, but he's not without a chance. So Watson doesn't go anywhere near the man on the mark, gives himself plenty of room. The kick drifts across the face of goal. Mooroolbark will clear through McManus. The bespectacled one has a bounce.
How far?
Does run his full measure, that's for sure. McManus's kick up towards the wing. Rickard leads the race to the footy. Langdon, in fact, it was. Gave it to Watson. Off to Sam Goodman. Neat little kick, although it didn't really do his teammate Rickard any favours. Stephen was taken to ground well by Linford. Nee got a quick kick in, but there's a whistle, and the ball's going to have to come back to Dean Stephen.
Late tackle.
Thanks to Jeff Manolitza there on the boundary. It was a late tackle on Dean Stevens, so he'll be the recipient of the free kick.
We might switch him with Peter Baird.
He's the type of player who does rise to the occasion come finals time, particularly grand finals. Stevens' kick. It's just sat it up a bit too long in the air. Handball from Goodman. And there's a free kick. It will go the way of the Mustangs to McManus. Gave it off to Noonan. Not his best kick. Matt Langdon was camped underneath it. And the umpires played a free kick against the Demons for shepherding. It will go to Roach. Doesn't waste any time. Dishes off the handball to Giorgio. Giorgio's searing kick, hugging the boundary, finds the boundary line right there in front of Ben Warren Smith's favourite Montrose player, Matty Langdon.
They haven't been as composed coming out of defence, Mooroolbark. They just can't get that run and link up that we've seen throughout the year.
Umpire brings the ball back in now. Third man up for Montrose. Got the little knockdown. Came down to Goodman. He had to break a tackle. Gave it to Johnson. He was happy to see it over the boundary line and out of bounds. Right in front of the Montrose bench here. It's the half-forward line for the Mooroolbark Football Club. 24 minutes gone here in the first term. The Mustangs, they need a goal late in this term. The umpire threw it back in. Armstrong came in for the Mooroolbark. Dean Stephen, he also went after it again. Nicely done there by Chris Murphy. Put his body on the line. But Montrose get the clearing kick. Guess who? Mike Smith on the wing position takes the mark now for the Mustangs. He's a clever footballer. A lot of players in that defensive 50 for the Montrose Football Club as the kick goes in towards there now, 20 metres out from goal. A great mark taken there by Jai Goodman, who sort of just fell in his lap in the end, and he's quick to keep the ball moving out towards the wing position, looking for Dylan Rickard. Couldn't quite pick the ball up. He went after it again there. Mooroolbark had the numbers at the fall. The ball, that was nicely done there by Rowe to put his body on the line. He almost earned a free kick, but the umpire said it was fair, and we'll have a bounce just outside the centre square out here.
The better players of Montrose are getting a lot more ball than the better players of Mooroolbark at the moment.
Montrose got the little knockdown. It came into the arms of Murphy, gave the old don't argue, went backwards to go forward, put his teammate under a fair old bit of pressure, but that was okay. Now in the middle of the ground, Rowe links up nicely there with Linford. On the left boot, kicks it up towards the half-forward line. They need to be cleaning their skills, unfortunately, for the Mooroolbark Football Club. They weren't that time as the kick drives up towards the wing position. Paddling it to himself, there was Hall. He's been clever in this first term on the left boot, kicks the ball inside forward 50. McManus will be the first one to meet it there for Mooroolbark of the Sean variety. He rode a tackle, got a little handball away, and they've got players all by themselves out on the wing position here. Members side as Mike Smith takes the mark now for Mooroolbark. Kicks the ball up towards the wing position. Going after it there and almost pulling down a mark was Giorgio. He managed to get a handball away. Coming through was Alan Stride. Oh, he went after it Joel Selwood style and got his head almost ripped off. And he received a free kick right in front of the broadcast position here.
Just dropped his knees nicely, drew the high tackle to earn the free kick.
So Stride now kicks it up towards or along the wing position. Muratore had time, had composure. He might get it back on the 1-2 here. Instead, Mooroolbark kick it up towards the half-forward line. That was the better option. Getting down low and almost taking the mark was big man Roach, but Matty Langdon was right on his hammer, and over she goes for a boundary throwing. Speaking of the boundary, let's head down boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care to Jeff Manolitza.
Yeah, the 3-goal lead to Montrose comes in very handy with this rain just bucketing down now.
Rain certainly is coming down, that's for sure, as the umpire threw it in. No clear win of disposal for anybody here. Mike Smith comes, picks the ball up, bangs it on his boot inside forward 50. I thought it might have been touched off the boot there. Who's looking for the big man charge. He had two players to beat and the ball bounced and it went over the boundary line. So we'll have a throw in 25 metres out from the Mooroolbark goals. It's important they can snag one here, Pete.
It is. They really need to get